There's two golden rules of speaking. Never speak right after lunch, and never speak during an open bar. So, and don't call people Scotch. So it's awesome. Hope you get that on the tape. That's good. That's awesome. Oh, I forgot I was mic'd up. I called you a name when you called me Scotch. It was great. It was awesome. So this is kind of a conversation with Scott. Hi. That's all I got. That's all. I don't. Thank you. I love you too. And so for me, I'm going to put this down here. I'm going to bend down one time to get it, and I'll throw out my hip. So don't look if I'm bending down this way. It's my ass. Okay, so I was online yesterday. I was looking for sunglasses, and I found one called Fatheads, Fatheadz, because I have a fat head. Seriously, my cranium is huge. It's not an ego-based thing. It's actually my circumference of my head is abnormally large. So this is called revealing to the audience, so they trust you better when you talk about something else. So I went to their website, and if you have a big head here, you have the same sunglass issue I do. They dig into the sides, they're not long enough, right? And I hate it, right? So I feel like a moron. So I wanted to get some Fathead sunglasses. I found it. So we talk about social media and marketing and everything else, and the biggest challenge is to get people to your door, right? Either online or in person. I was at their door. And here's what pisses me off the most. I get to their door, and I see their product. I'm like, well, cool. But I kind of want to try some on first, right? Because, you know, sunglasses, right? 99% of them make you look like a moron, and 1% look good in the store. When you go home, you look like a moron version of Kanye West. So you don't want to buy these things. So I go to their site, and I see them, and I see all the types. I'm like, yeah, I got to get one of these, but I want to try them on. And I want to see if they have them in Canada, because, you know, the world usually hates Canada. We don't ship products. I was going to order them from them. It was like $45 shipping or something for sunglasses. So I said, I'm going to ask them if I can go try them on somewhere. They had a deal with Walmart in the States. I'm like, hey, we have that stuff here. So I went to their site and said, I'm going to contact them, right? Hello, contact us form. Ta-da! So I put in there, do you have retail in Canada? Click send. Sorry, we can't send your message. Either it's too short or it's over 500 characters. Which was the most obtuse thing, may I say, scalene thing I've ever seen in my life in contact forms. Either you've done it too short or it's too long or it's too long-winded. So I'm like, well, that's kind of being jackassery. So I go to Twitter, which is usually my default, right? I tweet about it. First I vent about the contact form on Twitter, obviously. And then I go and find their Twitter account. Like, hey, Fatheads is on Twitter. You can see them there. The last tweet was April. 09. All right, so here's the biggest problem. Lesson number one of tonight's conversation with Scott. Don't have presence in social media if you're not going to be there. And listen. So I said, fine, I'm going to use the phone. Now here's the deal. I hate the goddamn phone. I hate using it. I hate calling. When somebody phones me, I look at it and go, what? And I'm like, hello? My buddy Steve, my BFF, we have lockets, and he called me last week, and the phone rang, and I picked it up. I'm like, hello? It's like, hey, buddy. I'm like, you got 3 seconds. Like, he's not calling to see how my feelings are today or something. It's very awkward. So I phoned them. Like, damn it, the last resort. The path of most resistance is leading to me giving them my money. So I call them, 1-800, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, this number cannot be dialed from Canada. So I go back to their contact form. They also have a Facebook fan page, but screw you and your like button. I'm not going to do it on Facebook. So I go back to their contact form on their site. I add another line to it just to get it through the system. Finally, do you have retail stores in Canada? I also like chocolate. Send. Okay? I send it to them. It works. Yay! I can actually send you a message. I get an email back just on the way here. You know what it says? No. No. That was their reply to me. Do you have the sunglasses in Canada? No. Well, spank my ass and call me Sally. That's your whole answer? You've gotten me to your door. This is the problem with business today, to me, right? We make it so hard to spend your money, and when you try to, they still give you attitude. We have this all the time. I saw this happen 2 months ago. KiteString, a real great graphic design team in Hamilton, was talking about flip video. You know, a lot of us have flip cameras. His broke. And he was kind of cheese. It was really good, loved it. And he tweeted out to Flip Canada's account on Twitter. Who's there? Hey, it broke. What's the deal? And they wrote back, and their reply was, sorry, that's a customer service issue. That's it. That was their reply. And I got on there and like, oh, hell no, you're not going to say that. So I got on there, of course, I retweeted it and put it out there and said, that's not how you act. When you are the face of your company, you are the company, right? People say, well, what about employees? And everybody markets. That's the thing. Marketing isn't a task. Marketing isn't a job description, or an action item. Every single time anybody from your company or representing your company, they are your company. Marketing is a daily task through 140 characters, through a Facebook message, through a phone call, through an interaction. And that's what we don't get. That's what we don't understand in social media and marketing. And this is what pisses me off out there. That we we get to this point, and nobody figures this out. There was an incident, and Justin knows well about this one because I learned about it from him, 2 months ago with Dark Horse Coffee. April Dunford, who's awesome. Say hi to her on Twitter if you can, by the way, April Dunford. She always gets embarrassed when I say it, which is awesome. She tweeted out about Dark Horse Cafe and said, if you're half your clientele is entrepreneurs with laptops, you should probably have more than one outlet. The old coffee shop, right? You're jockeying for position at the coffee shop with a laptop. And so Justin sees it and says, hey, Dark Horse account, check out what April just said. What do you think? So what do you think they replied? One, sorry about that. It's tough to put them in, and we'll take it into consideration. Two, hey, we'd be open to any kind of ideas you have, but a lot of times people camp out and steal the outlet for 4 hours with a coffee. Or three, did they say, yeah, thanks for the info, which is what they said. Yeah, thanks for the info. We have enough outlets to do what we need to do here. We run a coffee shop, not an office. And I realized then that 90% of the people in the world are morons. I've come to this conclusion. And actually, you know what, the biggest conclusion I've come to, I've been a Twitter fanboy for a long time now. I've been preaching Twitter and yelling it and saying you always have to be on it. And I've come to a realization over the past couple of months, maybe because I'm tired, maybe I'm tired of yelling at people, that Twitter and social media actually isn't meant for everybody. Does that make sense what I'm saying there? Does anybody agree with that? Twitter can't be forced. Social media can't be forced. I realize that. I actually start now supporting people who outsource their social media to another company, as long as it's disclosed. As long as you say, I'd rather have a passionate consultant or PR team or communications company tweet on behalf of a company than a manager who hates it and doesn't understand it. The guy that calls it tweezer and doesn't want to use it, right? I'd rather have it out. So I've changed my mind. I've certainly shifted from when I first got on there and everybody had to use it to now. You can't fake passion. You can't automate authenticity. But that's what companies are trying to do. They're trying to have presence without being present. That's what we were talking about early on. We're talking about automating tweets and how that work. And anyways, when I stole his question, I'm sorry. I planted his question. I yanked it from you. I'm sorry, man. It's about automation. People ask, well, what's wrong with it? What's the harm in automating things like tweets or Facebook status updates or what you want? Yeah.
Maybe that don't publish correctly, like Facebook. If you try to automate something on Facebook, and it's not the same.
And the problem is people cross-platform it. You'll see the Facebook update come through Twitter, which is half broken, or the Twitter update going into Facebook, which makes no sense to people on Facebook who are not on Twitter. Here's the issue. One automated tweet doesn't make you the devil. Okay? I understand that. But when one works meaning it goes out there, then you do two. Then you tweet 4 of them. Then you know what? I don't have to be there now. I'm just putting the message out. And this is the problem. I call it mannequin networking. You send a mannequin to a networking event and say, we're here, and you put the mannequin in the room and you run out the door. And then people awkwardly, like the dude with scotch, walks up to him, starts talking to the mannequin for like 25 minutes, and you're a really good listener, and walks away, It's a whole different thing. This is the problem. This is a scary part. Most people here, right? We're social media people, we get it, and we turn around and then we try to sell it to the naysayer. We try to sell it to the person who doesn't believe into it, and we sell it wrong. We try to start saying ROI. And we have to, because that's their words.